I am Vesthar, fleet commander of the Orendari Dominion, third in lineage of the House of Carowin, and bearer of the scars of Calavax. I have led victorious campaigns across the spiral arms of this galaxy, broken empires, extinguished rebellions, and shattered planets beneath the weight of orbital bombardments. When my adjutant brought me the initial scans of the Terran vessel, I did not flinch. A single human scout unit. One. It hovered above the outer moons of Grashtal for emitting a weak distress signal. The message was primitive, as if a plea to lure the unwise. We, of course, are not unwise. I ordered our finest battlecruiser, Orendari's Wrath, to approach, flanked by 5 escort destroyers. They were not to fire, yet I wanted to speak to this lone human. See how they begged. The comms flickered. A voice came through, not mechanical, not modulated, but raw, harsh, scarred. This is Lieutenant Ava Gray, Scout-class vessel Romer 6. I advise immediate retreat. You are within Earth jurisdiction. She did not beg. Instead, she warned us. I laughed. So did my second and third officers. Even my helm screechers hissed with amusement. Send a pulse beam through their hull. I ordered, casually sipping from the bloodfruit chalice. Leave them functional. I want to see the look on this Lieutenant Gray's face when we board her wreck. The beam landed. The hull buckled. Then everything changed. The first destroyer exploded. It wasn't a beam. It wasn't torpedoes. There was no visible weapon signature. It just ruptured, as if imploding from within. Metal screamed across the void. She's launching kinetic rods, one of my sensor techs screeched. From a scout? I spat. That's impossible. 2 more destroyers went dark. Their systems melted before impact. The crew floated lifeless in the black. The scout hadn't moved. It was as if space itself betrayed us in her presence. Magnetic distortion fields, shouted my engineer. Gravity displacement, impossible readings. Commander, the scout, is not a scout, I muttered. I hailed the Terran ship. I needed to see her face. Needed to know what kind of beast wears a human skin. The feed came alive. A woman, human female, battle-worn, soot across her brow. But eyes, those eyes, they glowed, not with light, but with certainty, with calm, with authority bred from extinction. You didn't listen, she said softly. You saw one ship and assumed you saw weakness. What were you? I demanded. Scout unit. Nothing more. Then her ship vanished. Vanished. Not cloaked. Not jumped. One frame she was there. Next she was not. Not even dust remained. When the Grand Fleet arrived days later, we were still recovering survivors. Only the Wrath remained. 1,000 lives gone. Dozens of ships shattered. Not from fire, but from presence. Human presence. The High Admiral listened as I recounted the battle. Then he summoned the archive. There, in deep restricted data, were stories that Orendari never taught us. Tales of the Terran Ascension War. Stories erased from common history. Descriptions of human scout units with capabilities beyond comprehension. They were seated ahead of invasion fleets. Alone, silent, watching. They didn't destroy armies. They crippled morale. They whispered in enemy systems, bled poison into sensors, infected code with terror. And when the war began, the true Terran legions followed. Quietly, efficiently, ruthlessly. Weeks later, I stood before the War Council. We must avoid further engagement with Earth, I said, until we understand how they become this. You fear them? One general sneered. No, I replied, my voice steel. I fear we've mistaken the scout for the monster, when the true beast waits just behind. Later that cycle, another signal came. Same frequency, same voice. Scout Unit 7 now active. You're still in violation of Terran border protocols. We ran. We, the Orendari Dominion, ran.